Welcome to the Quantum Empath. I'm your host, Kelly Michelle, intuitive guide, alchemist, and reality hacker. This is a space where esoteric knowledge, ancient wisdom, personal development, and quantum physics meet to help you shift your frequency, break old patterns, and step into the life your soul came here to live. Let's expand your awareness, upgrade your energy, and create your dream reality, one episode at a time. Let's begin. I am someone who likes to say I'm divinely guided. When I say that, what I mean is that I wait for a message. I wait for a call from my team to help me know what I need to share. Because my guides know that I can do monkey mind really well. I can have ideas spinning around in my brain of all the things that I want to share. All this knowledge I've accumulated over the last, 53 years of my life, but more like 4 or 5 years on my spiritual journey. And today, the overarching message that I have been dealing with is the amount of clearing that people are experiencing, whether they're 8 or 88. The clearing is happening, and I keep seeing champagne bubbles or Alka-Seltzer, how all these little bubbles of annoying little, glitches in my system are resurfacing, things I thought that I had addressed, and insecurities I thought that I had let go of. And so I got these triggers that were coming up for me over the last week, and I pouted. I felt like my energy was being pulled on. I felt like I was a little bit out of alignment, having a hard time getting off the couch, not feeling motivated to do much of anything, not feeling like doing art, not really feeling like cleaning, not really feeling like watching TV, not really feeling like reading a book. I was in this fight, flight, freeze, fawn of, oh my gosh, we are closing out another year, and everything that has been coming in for me is speaking very highly of 2026 and all the good things that are coming in 2026. And I think personally, it feels like a little more pressure than I care to invite into my life. And so I'm feeling a little bit of fear around the information that's coming in, because I know that information comes in because my consciousness is ready for it. And if it wasn't ready for it, I wouldn't be getting the messages. And so I trust it and continue moving forward. I realized, first of all, my chakras were out of alignment. If you've never had your chakras aligned for any length of time, it was a game changer in my healing journey. And I love when I work with people that I can tune into their energy throughout the week. If they feel a little off, they can reach out to me and they'll say, I'm feeling kind of off. And I'll tune them up and they will say, wow, that's crazy. And I say, I know. That's why I'm doing this, because I know it works. It's not crazy. I know it works. And I was feeling out of alignment, got my chakras balanced. Yesterday, I bundled myself up and went out for a really nice walk and got some fresh air and sunshine, and the wind wasn't blowing. It was beautiful outside. Cold, but beautiful. Gave me a minute to get some fresh air and feel the sunshine on my face and reset my energy. My goodness, I needed that, because for the last few days, it's been cold and raining and snowing and windy, and I just haven't felt like going out for my walks. But if you're anything like me, it is a very beneficial part of this process. Connecting with nature is huge. And I don't know that we do enough of it. I try and get out there every day, but I can easily stay on the couch when the weather's crappy. So this is a reminder for you, if you haven't been outside for some sunshine and fresh air, to go ahead and do so. Make some time for yourself for that. But I'm noticing so many people in my circle that are feeling this energy. And even if you're not somebody who follows the Schumann resonance and the solar flares and astrology, all of that affects us, whether we are aware of it or not. Whether you follow that information or not, it will affect you physically, because we are a part of the greater whole. We are really no different from nature. And as the earth upgrades her energies, as these solar flares are happening and the light codes are coming in, there is a huge clearing of density inside of us. And I like to think of the density as if you had a glass and you filled it halfway full of water and put that in the freezer. That would eventually turn to ice, and that ice would represent density, and that density is kind of the 3D world that a lot of people are used to. The chaos, the fear, the shame, the guilt, the control structure. And then when you start clearing out some of the old programming, it is like melting that ice into water. And once you melt that ice into water, you become less dense, and the more quickly that the water can turn to steam, which is like another density of awakening. And the less dense we become, the more we are like vapor. And that might sound a little strange, but in terms of density and 3D, 4D, 5D, when you are steam, you're operating and existing on a different plane than if you were ice. And I feel like I'm being called to bridge the density with the vapor and show up as the bridge, the water, the flow, the possibility of showing people that you don't have to stay in the density. You can clear out some of that old programming. You can get your quality of life back. And oh my gosh, I had this amazing conversation last night with a friend who I put in a remote container for my egg as a gift. And I said, I just want your feedback because I want to know for my understanding if this is an effective program to share with people remotely. And she said her life has done a complete 180. And it almost sounds like it's falling apart. But her spirit felt really light to me. She sounded vibrant and peaceful and joyful and optimistic in the midst of her chaos. She's like, I know it's going to be okay. I know. I just feel it in my body. I know that everything is working out the way that it's supposed to. And when we're growing, it can feel like chaos. It can feel like old foundations that are being removed. And we are essentially having to rebuild from scratch. And the analogy that I like to use with my clients is the puzzle. And imagine if I had a bag of puzzle pieces and I said, here's the puzzle, put it together. And you're like, well, where's the box? Well, there's no box. Just put the puzzle together. But I don't know what it's supposed to look like. And that's where I say, when you get really, really clear on the things that you're trying to call into your life, when you get clear on what you want to experience, how you want to experience, with who you want to experience these things, it's like being handed the cover of the puzzle box and you seeing the image clearly enough to be able to know how to put that puzzle together. And that's what this work does. It helps you gain clarity on the direction that you want your life to go so that you have a clear picture. And it's beautiful and amazing. And I've experienced it in my life. And the analogy for the puzzle that I was shown was that I finished the puzzle and I put the final piece in and I was like, there it is. And Spirit says, okay, now what are you going to do? Are you going to glue it together and hang it on the wall and just stare at it? Or Are you going to push that puzzle back into the box, shake it up, dump it out, and rebuild it, knowing that you have different tools? And that meant to me that, first of all, I know what's possible. I know that it's possible to put this puzzle together. Now I know red goes in this corner and blue's over here, and this corner has yellow. I know how to do it differently. And I don't have to play the game with my victimhood. I don't have to play the game of living in my old stories. I don't have to play the game that I'm pretending to be something that I'm not. I don't feel like people pleasing anymore. And for somebody who was a people pleaser my entire life, because I wanted to make sure that people stayed, and now I see it differently. And I know that the people that are meant to be in my life will be in my life, whether I'm bending over for them or not. They love me for who I am. They love me real. They love me raw. They accept my flaws or my weirdness or my dreams. And that the ones that don't will just kind of fall out of my life, and I'm okay with that now. It used to be really hard. I would ask myself, what did I do? How come they don't want to be my friend? And oh my gosh, is it something I said, or is it something I did? And I would question everything. And no, I mean, even if it is, if the friendship didn't withstand that thing, it wasn't meant to go the distance. But when we're younger, or we're in our broken survivor state of guilt, shame, sadness, neediness, low self-worth, it's really easy to go out to others to seek that external validation that we cannot give ourselves. And knowing that this entire journey for me has started with my own self-love is a completely different way to play the game. Now I play the game, and I know that not everybody's going to love me. Not everybody's going to accept me as this person. They know me as a different version. Somebody who didn't speak up for themselves. Somebody who didn't have boundaries. Somebody who tolerated behaviors probably way longer than they should have. And then there's the whole part of everybody is a reflection of me. So the thing that I didn't like in them was actually something in me that I really needed to look at in myself and take responsibility and ownership for, and get to the point where when somebody is reflecting some shittiness, that I'm able to look at them and thank them and forgive them and be grateful to be shown something that I was not looking at myself. Personal accountability. I'm just saying I didn't have it for a long time, and now I do. And so I have had to forgive a lot of people, and I've had to forgive myself. And it's just part of clearing out old programming software. You guys remember the computer scan disk and defrag, where it would go through and pull all your memory back together and bring little chunks of color together? Would be scattered, and then at the end you'd have bigger chunks. And I feel like that's what I'm helping people do, is that we're scanning and we're defragging. And I'm reading this really interesting book right now. It's called The New Force by Dana Kippel, and it's plasma, and it's kind of way over my head, but she said something really interesting, and that is that we are all basically walking around in our own little plasma bubbles, and when our field is coherent, that's how we call in the life of our dreams. And it makes so much sense that my life is falling into place so easily, and that I've been so protected, and that everything is constantly working out for me because I'm following this divine mission that I've been given, which sounds really out there, but honestly, I think we've all come in with this divine mission. And when you start breaking out of the programming, you might start to feel called in a different direction, in a different way that your soul feels nurtured and fed, rather than feeling like your soul is being sucked dry. Like soul-sucking work. I personally loved my business, and I loved cleaning, and I had amazing clients, but I'm not getting any younger. And it was getting hard. After 9 years, I would clean one house and feel pretty tired. And so I knew that it was time to make a change. And one of the things that I desired when I made a change was that I wanted to help people. I wanted to have stimulating conversations. I wanted to be around like-minded thinkers and people who like to expand their mind, and people who want to learn how to love themselves and follow a call. And I can tell you that there are cheat codes. Once you step out of the system, there are cheat codes that will support you. And there is a heavenly field of divine powers that be that will support you. If your heart is pure and your intentions are good. Because in the world that I participate in the world that I believe, is that we are all a piece of the divine. We are all a drop of the ocean. And that we are all a divine spark of God. And that inside of us, there's a part of God that wants us to be creating, that wants to see us happy, that wants to see us fulfilling our dreams and desires. And if we are a child of God and God wants us to be living our best lives, then why would we not be supported in that? God doesn't want us slaving all day, feeling depleted, feeling tired, feeling frustrated. That's the program. That's the system that keeps us trapped. And when I opened my center, I did it. And then I was like, okay, now what? Now what do I do? And I'm so led by Spirit. I sat tight and I trusted the process. And then I got the download several weeks in, or months in, actually. Months. It took me months to download this message. And the message that came in was 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 clearings, coaching, journaling. And I can say that now that I've implemented this program, the amount of growth that people are doing is, I can't even explain how amazing it is. And it's a lot. It's deep healing work, and it can shift the entire trajectory of your life. And if you don't want to uproot your entire life, then we need to proceed with caution, because you might actually start believing in yourself. If you were to do my Empowered Empath program, you might actually feel calm and peaceful and joy and love and passion and imagination. And that's not always easy if you are in a place where you're not ready for those kinds of changes. But it is changing lives, and people are grateful, and I'm watching them turn the lights back on. Their inner light is coming on, and their shoulders are pushed back, and their chest is out, and their chin is up, and the light in their eyes is back on, and the fire is growing. And it's so cool to witness. And the thing about me is that I can't talk about stuff that I don't truly understand, feel, believe, experience. And I would just feel really gross doing that. But now I know, near or far, this works. The harmonic egg is transmitting out scalar waves with intention, plasma, the energetic field, quantum technology, the ether, whatever it is, the egg does it. Based on ancient technology, based on Tesla tech, based on quantum information. It's all the same with different words. And I've studied all of the different areas. The mystics, ancient, New Age, and quantum physics. And it all looks the same to me. It's kind of like religion. when I looked at, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 different religions. At the end of the day, they are rooted in love. And the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be kind. Don't be a jerk. That's all very valid stuff. But these days that religion is being used to fight amongst each other, we really need to look at if that is how we're going to solve the problem. Because as long as we're fighting amongst each other instead of loving each other, we are part of the problem. And I'm not saying me, because I don't do that. I don't do that anymore. I have. But I've also been somebody who has been accused of being a heretic or satanic influencer or whatever. I don't know what people think, but I've been warned. Don't trust those crystals. I'm like, oh, you mean those rocks that God grew in the earth? Oh, that book that's been interpreted 1,000,000 times by man? Oh, okay. Those comments hung me up from my mission for a long time until I did my own research and saw that I know that the work that I do is rooted in love and goodness and for the betterment of humanity. And if anybody finds that evil, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to reflect the mirror back to them and ask them to look at themselves and look at the other religions and what are you digging your feet in the ground for when you're judging others. So yeah, this is fun. The spiritual awakening is a process, and you are not alone. I think humanity is waking up in droves, and if you're even a little bit ahead of the curve and you can shine your light a little brighter, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you get on your mission and shine your light a little brighter. If you want to work with me, it's the Empowered Empath program. And it's 6 weeks of one-on-one coaching and quantum clearings where we go in and do a deep nervous system reset, a deep chakra reset. We go in 1 week and look at your ancestral traumas, past life traumas, current life, and childhood blocks. And then week 6, we integrate everything. It works. It works. Whether you do the journal prompts or not, whether you lay on the floor still or you're in your kitchen doing your dishes, it works. I think the calls are helpful, the one-on-one coaching calls that I hold space for. And so I'm just following spirit. And the message was, get your voice out there. Your people are not just in this town. You need to go find your people. They're everywhere. The people that resonate with my energy. If you found me, thank you. I'm so grateful for this process, and I'm really enjoying this. I am at peace with my mission. I am at peace with my purpose. And I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll catch you next time.